Hello, YouTube world, family, friends, viewers, subscribers. Welcome back to the Critical Cognitive Aggressive Thinking channel. My name is Robby Williams, your host, and tonight we're talking about self-care. Self-care is very important, and that's one of my questions. Why should we prioritize self-care, which is the topic of this recording video? Now, let's get into this. First of all, I want to talk about the necessity for self-care. It's bigger than what we think it is. And we have a lot of people that push themselves day after day, week after week, month after month, especially when you are trying to build a career or when you trying to build a career and you have a family. You know, a lot of men and women fall into this category when you got two kids, one in daycare or both in daycare, and one in daycare, the other in regular school, and you're trying to plan out every day to get them to school and everything. You're pushing every day. Then you got to go to work. You work all day. You come back home. You have to, get dinner ready, whatever, you're cleaning, you're doing everything, but you forget about self. Well, a lot of women are single with kids, and this is something that should hit home for them when they're trying to raise children, divide their time, work, children, and self. A lot of times they put self on the back burner and they keep pushing. Well, remember, this self-care is larger, is bigger than what you think it is. And in today's society, for preventing various unwanted health outcomes, you have to prioritize time to take care of yourself, time to make a plan and say, okay, Saturday, I'm going for a walk at the park, or I'm going to a spa and do what ladies do at the spa. Some of them go to those places where they get manicure, pedicures, and all that stuff. Some of them go to gyms and they go and work out. There are so many things that you can do. And I'm going to go over a few things that men and women can do. I'm not going to cover the whole gamut, but I'm going to hit some things that men and women can do in order to practice self-care and develop a plan for self-care. Because if you don't do that, you can easily fall into burnout. And you don't want burnout because then you fall into a state of depression, you fall into anxieties, then you got all this stress, then it goes into the field of mental health. Now you're in another ball game. And you don't want to be caught up in that nasty rat race of trying to find yourself. So, as I was just doing some research and I was just looking into other writers and what they are saying about it, well, I ran into L.D. Butler and her colleagues, and they wrote a nice article on attending to the whole person. And they're talking about self-care. And so just something that they stated that I really felt like needed to be mentioned. And she said, and basically as a collective group, it requires reflection of the wholehearted mindfulness, self-attention, and premeditated efforts to achieve stress management and prevent a negative state of mind and to maintain or enhance well-being and overall mental and physical functioning. And that's powerful, because what we don't realize is how much you can suffer from not taking care of yourself. Then not only that, when you have a family, especially when we look at relationships when you have the significant other or the husband or the wife, we say spouse. When you in those type of relationships, how you feel spills over into their life and how they feel, because you're coexisting with one another and you're sharing space. So if you feel bad, sometimes if you're not really checking yourself, you can have these feelings that spills off negatively into the other person. And now you have all these tug of war back and forth feelings where you just dealing with, and now you resenting, because you're saying, if I had not gotten married at this stage of my life, I could have done this, I could have done that. You start blaming this, and you're making all kinds of assumptions that may not even be true. But it's all because of how you're allowed to let yourself go. I say this a lot of times, sometimes. I say this, that we look at ourselves and we push so hard and we forget about who we are. We forget who we are. We lose our identity into everything else that we have going on, whether it's people, friends, family, a person, a career. We just lose ourselves in it. You got to take care of yourself, because if you don't, bad things can happen. Let's look at what type of things you can do for self-care. First of all, practice setting boundaries. You can practice setting boundaries by saying no to people when people used to coming to you and you always saying, okay, yeah, I'll take care of that for you. Oh, I'll help you with this. Learn to say no. Hey, I'm busy. You can be lying down in the bed watching your TV. Somebody call you. Learn to say, hey, I'm busy. And you may not even be busy, but hey, I'm busy. I'm trying to do something right now. I don't have the time. And like right there, watch your TV and relax. You had a full week just like everybody else had a full week. Learn to say no. And I'm going to tell you something, that even come with your money. Learn to say no. Hey, can I borrow $100? I don't care if you have $500 in your pocket. If you don't, learn to say no. Set those boundaries, because the more you give, the people going to continue to ask, and they're going to continue to expect you to give. So when you give of yourself, give of your time, give your resources, they are coming, because they know you're going to do it. But when you start setting those boundaries, people go like, oh, I'm not going to bother so-and-so because I know she's going to say no, or I know he's going to say no. So learn to set those boundaries. Focus on your own needs. And that's why you're setting the boundaries, because you are looking at, what do I need today? What can I do for me? And this people is not always about money, spending money. Oh, I'm gonna buy this Gucci purse, excuse me, I saw at the mall, or I saw at this store, or whatever, and it's $300. Now, let me say this, because I know some people are, I put my money on where I want to. That's fine. Yes, you do. Here's my point. Self-care does not always require you to go and spend a pile of money on yourself, because you can spend that money, and guess what? You can still have the same emotional baggage. You can still have the same feelings. You can still have the same weight of stress, pressure, anxieties. You can still have all that stuff even after you spend the money. No, you need to focus on those things like stress, pressures, anxieties, depression, you name it. That's the focus. Because trust me, people, there are folks spending a lot of money because they have it to spend, and yet struggling with their emotions, struggling with self-care. When you get to a point, and I can vouch for that. Like I said, you look at some of my videos. I mentioned I have a video, my near-death experience. I talk about it. I was pushing myself, going to school, going to work, doing YouTube, and I'm still doing this, but now I've also added self-care in my life. I have a diet. For those of you that don't agree with diets, that's on you. I have. I take care of myself by, paying attention to the foods that I eat, whether it's going to help my body or harm my body. I also take time out to go for walks. I also take time out to listen to music. I'm doing everything that I need to do. And the thing I say about it, just because you're doing certain things doesn't mean that it's added stress. My YouTube is basically like a hobby as well. So I get fulfillment out of doing what I'm doing right now. So it helps my well-being. It helps my emotions and everything about my cognition. Because I do research. When I'm doing research, I'm alone. I'm just studying. I'm in a peaceful environment. All that is self-care. So think about it now. Doing positive things to help you stay motivated. I can say that about school. I love to learn. So it's motivating when I reach certain levels of learning. And it's motivating to be able to do things you set plans to do a year ago, and now you actually made that achievement. That is also good just to your state of being. So that is something that we have to understand, that that's just another thing you can add to something to do for self-care. Ladies, spa days. Y'all love to go to spas. Pick a day where you can go. And you don't always have to take a bunch of people with you, or you going with a bunch of people. Sometimes it's just good to go, get it done, chill for an hour, however you do it. And your day is good. I just mentioned hobbies and projects. Guys like having these man caves, and they want to fix it up and do things, or a car that they're working on, like an older model car. I've seen some guys take a piece of wreck and turn it into a masterpiece when you talk about cars. Now, I'm a muscle car enthusiast, so I see and I know what I'm looking at. I can be like, man, what those guys can do to a car, it's unreal. But that's where their peace is at. That's where they feel they feel good when they're doing it. They feel at home. They feel at peace. It's tranquil. It's good. It's all good. It's motivating for them. Because one guy may get an older car, he may say, well, by the first of the year, or by the, in 6 months, I want to have it like this or that. I want to have the motor done, or this or that. So these things is part of self-care. And then guess what? So I notice a lot of people love to do crossword puzzles. They just sit at home and just do crossword puzzles. And that's very easy to do. And another thing is it helps cognition. So why not? It helps you to stay focused. It helps you to organize your thoughts. So the bonus in that, you're able to plan. And don't forget, on the medical side of it, Plan physical, getting a physical or get checkups at your PCP office. Go to your doctor. You know, some people do it once a year, fine. But if you want to, you can set it up in 10 months and start going it every 10 months. You can go to your doctor, I just want to get a checkup. And then don't forget blood work once a year. For men, I say this for men, but women get colonoscopy too. But men, get your colonoscopy. Please do that. When you reach the age of 40, you need to be planning it, because average age is around about 45, but start planning at the age of 40. Saying I'm just gonna, looking at going to get a colonoscopy done, see if there's any polyps. If they're cancerous, then guess what? They're gonna schedule another visit for you to get those polyps removed. Or sometimes they remove those things right then and there. Now, let's say if there's no polyp, you don't have to worry about that for another, I would say 8 to 10 years. You're good. So if you're 45 getting a colonoscopy, everything looks good, 55 before your next one. So, that's something that men need to do. That's self-care. It's important. It's very important. Ladies like to go and take yoga classes, Zumba classes. For my African-American viewers and subscribers, guess what? There's some places that have African dance classes. See, when you're doing something like that, getting that exercise in, that helps. Because we have to realize that African Americans are the prime target for heart disease. So when we are caring for ourselves, seeing the doctor, exercising, doing things like that, what we're doing is putting ourselves in a good place to fight heart disease, high blood pressure, you name it. Your cholesterol's level is good. Then your A1C for diabetes, So you're doing all these things, eating right, exercising, you covering those 3 types of diseases right there. You're covering it. Moving on. I would say those of you may or may not do it, but this is what I suggest. This is what I do for myself. I have subscribed to a men's health magazine, and you get different updates. It talks about the new thing that's happening that men can do, or they come up with all these ideas, and you read it. Guess what? Some things may work for you, some things not. They also will tell you about the things that, for the women, they talk about the women. For the men, they talk about men's health. And for men that has erectile dysfunction, they talk about that. Women, they talks about women that has different problems with their bodies. So to join these magazines that has zero cost, that's a bonus. And you can learn something. Because see, I see some people that let their weight get out of hand. And they talk, well, if nobody don't like me for the way I am, no, that's not it. Please get yourself checked. It's about you, not about what other people think or what other people will or will not accept, will or will not accept. It's about you taking care of yourself, self-care, okay? Because these things helps you to identify the areas of your health that needs the most attention. That's what self-care does. A lot of times when you are feeling overwhelmed, you don't know how close that you're getting to burnout. And if you're working, pushing yourself, not taking, time off to relax, not getting the proper rest, not eating right, all those things, let me tell you something. Burnout will hit you just like that. And when it hits you, you have to deal with it. And some people, it falls in the area of mental health as well as you just having a malfunctioning body, you see. So it's good. So when we talk about all of those things that you can do for self-care, what are the benefits? We can talk about the benefits. Let's cover 7 things, maybe 8, that self-care will help you when we talk about the benefits of self-care. Number 1, self-care can support a healthier relationship. You and your loved one, your spouse. When you're feeling good, guess what? That feeling good trickles over to that husband or that wife, and it trickles down to the children, because guess what? You're less grouchy. You're less argumentative. You are feeling good. So guess what? Your goodness, your energy, that positive energy, gonna flow right into the rest of the house, through the rest of the house to the rest of the family members. And you got the husband feeling good, you're feeling good, the children notice it, because children will pick up negative energy in a heartbeat. And you can't blame them for that. Can't blame the kids for you feeling bad. A lot of you do, but you can't blame the kids. Greed is something that, I'm just saying, greed, got your eyes on this Mercedes, knowing you can't afford it, so you'll work yourself like a dog just to get it, and you start neglecting yourself, your husband, your children, and then you get mad at them for something you're doing to yourself. Just throwing that in there. The men do it too, okay? Number 2, peace of mind. Self-care will help bring peace of mind, less stress, making that U-turn going away from burnout. Peace of mind. When you look in the mirror when you're feeling awful, you don't have a high value for yourself, because you don't value yourself, because you're tearing yourself down in increments over time, tearing yourself down, because why? You want that Mercedes, okay? It ain't worth it. So now you start devaluing yourself, because guess what? You're not spending enough time with family. You're not spending enough time taking care of yourself. So you may not be feeling your best. You may not be looking your best. Then you get mad because you ain't heard your husband say in a while, babe, you look beautiful, or you look good. You're not getting those compliments from him. So now you're feeling some type of way. And I'm just saying, all these things happen. Value, self-value. Value are the truths that you believe in that command your choices. Critical thinking. I always talk about that. This is a critical cognitive channel where I'm pushing it aggressively to my viewers and my subscribers to think critically. Self-care is thinking critically to the point where you know that you need to take care of yourself, and you're doing it. You're acting upon it. So I'm thinking about self-care. I need to take care of myself. And what it does, it commands your choices. Oh, I need to eat right. Oh, I need to exercise. Oh, I need to do this. I need to do that. That benefits, that give me the benefits, positive things, self-care. Now my behavior changes because of that. Once your behavior changes, the way you conduct yourself will change. So now you're acting different. You carrying yourself in a different manner. You view yourself differently now. Guess what? Self-esteem going up too. And I'm not, this is not I was in a Walmart, and I'm just in there doing what I do, looking for something, whatever. Just like everybody else shopping, whatever. But I saw someone, we're not going to say either male or female, but come in with PJs on. And don't misunderstand me. They were dressed not like they just came from work, from a construction site. A man, come from, that's understandable. He just labored all day, okay? Or a female coming from a workplace that you labored all day. But my point is, you come in there looking a hot mess from the house. Look like my point is, how can you expect people to see value in you when you don't see value in yourself? Self-care. And I know some people are going to get mad at me about that little statement, but how can you expect when you treat yourself worse than anything else, you don't have no value. You don't show value within yourself, but you expect people to treat you like you have value. That's just a nugget I'm throwing out there. It doesn't take long to clean yourself up and then come to a store. No, you're not looking for nobody, but good God Almighty, some of the stuff I see, moving on. Another positive thing that self-care does, it helps you gather your thoughts to see things clearly in a different light. It gives you a different perspective of life, of yourself, of people around you. The way you see things, the way you do things, it gives you that time to think and gather yourself, gather your thoughts. People, what's wrong with sitting down sometimes and just reflecting? Pull a journal out, right? I mean, you could do that. Read something. See, I mean, it's a lot you can do, but that's just a benefit. It gives you that ability to gather yourself, gather your thoughts, see things clearly, have a different perspective. It gives you a different perspective because why? You done changed. You have made a metamorphosis, and you're different now. Better health and well-being, number 5. Now your health is better. Your health and well-being has went up a little. It's going up gradually now because you're constantly thinking about self. And guess what? When you're feeling good as a man, oh my God, you like can conquer the world. You see, that's the way you feel. You feel good. But men are the ones that most of the time will run themselves in the ground and will not go see that doctor. You have to twist their arm to go see the doctor. That's what happened to me. I'm only saying this because we're no good to our families if we're laid up in the hospital, or even if we come out of the hospital and no longer can walk or talk or what have you, you cripple for the rest of your life or whatever because you didn't take care of yourself. You're no good to your family then. And I don't want to use this word, but I got to use it. I don't want to be a burden when I don't have to be. Not to my family, not to anyone. I don't want to be a burden when all I have to do is just take care of myself. And guess what? We're talking about longevity. Self-care will help with longevity. So that's your number 5. Number 6, it will enhance cognitive functioning because you are getting the proper rest and sleep. That's in addition to the things you can do for self-care, because I mentioned early about rest. So when you get into proper sleep, when you get in, your body can repair. Your body, there's a video, I have 2 videos where I talk about sleep and what it does for the body. I have another video about melatonin and what it does for the body coming from the pineal gland. So when you're sleeping, the body is in restoration mode. It's repairing itself. So if you get some sleep, get more sleep, take a nap. That's why I say sometimes you have to tell people, hey, listen, I can't, no, not today. I'm relaxing today, or I got something else going on. I'll holler at you next week. And you take that Saturday, chill, or go to church that Sunday after service, get back to the house, and you can lay down and watch TV in bed all day if you want to. Relax, take care of yourself. Take that break, it's needed. And that's what happens. Your body repairs itself. It enhances cognitive abilities. And you can function, you can critically think on your feet much better when you're fresh and rejuvenated. My last one, it boosts your energy levels. A lot of times I hear a lot of people say, oh, I'm so tired, I'm just this, I feel wore out. And then I have to say, when the last time you just took time to just relax? Kick your feet up. Watch your favorite TV show. That's why you should prioritize self-care, people. That is the video for tonight. This is 2024, and I'm just giving you videos every week. And that's my goal. I want you to understand that self-care is important. Be kind to yourself. That's what the message up here tells you, to be kind to yourself. We can do this. All we have to do is take the time out to do it. So be blessed, everybody. Don't forget, like, subscribe, and even make a comment. Tell me what you think about self-care. Tell me whether or not, hey, I need to get on top of my game on my self-care because I've been neglecting myself. And most of us have. But trust me, you do not want to end up in the hospital because of the lack of taking care of yourself. You don't want that. I want to say my name is Robby Williams. I want to thank you all for tuning in, watching my videos. My subscribers, I'm going to keep it coming, so stay with me. My new subscribers, thank you for joining in. I see the numbers going up. So, hey, I appreciate it, and I'm going to keep it coming. My viewers, don't worry. I'll look for you to subscribe soon. But I want to thank you all, and God bless. This is Robby Williams, founder of the Critical Cognitive Progressive Thinking channel. And I am out of here. Good night.